Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar by CountingWorks PRO. This will be all about how to build better and trusted client relationships as a tax and accounting pro. So my name is Lauren Detweiler, and I am the content manager of CountingWorks PRO.
And I am Lee Reams, the CEO and founder of CountingWorks. I've been working with tax and accounting professionals for over 30 years. CountingWorks offers tax and accounting professionals tools to enhance every digital touch point along the client journey. In today's webcast, we're going to be highlighting some of those touch points and some tips on how you can improve your overall marketing results.
Great. So let's run through today's agenda really quickly. Some of the topics we'll be covering, like I said, how to build better client relationships for your practice. Some of the parts of that include staying in constant contact, establishing yourself as the go-to authority, delivering those best-in-class client experiences and a great first impression, backing up your marketing with a 5-star reputation, so with reviews and all of that, and then being responsive and authentic. And after that, we're going to talk about some of the results that you can look forward to with that, talk about some Q&A and answer any questions that you may have, and then how you can get started with CountingWorks PRO. So this webinar will be approximately 15 minutes long and doesn't include CPE credit. Like I said, we'll have Q&A at the end of the workshop. And while this is designed for US-based small tax and accounting practices, any other business or practice may benefit as well.
All right, so let's get started. Before I get into the introduction, a couple things about CountingWorks PRO and kind of our belief factors. So what we believe accountants are the world's most trusted advisors for a reason. You deliver. Taxpayers and business owners have better financial outcomes when they work with 5-star rated professionals, and especially those professionals in our platform, that are supported by CountingWorks technology. So how do we do that? CountingWorks offers tax and accounting professionals the first all-in-one practice growth platform that's IRS compliant, delivers measurable improvements, and is proven to grow your practice. So, connecting with your clients is more important than ever. COVID-19 has disrupted the entire interview process. The way you find clients is completely moved online. The way people refer you, things are different now. So, as we do socialize over video chat, it still sometimes, doesn't have the same connectivity with in-person conversations. So what we recommend and what is shown to be proven very successful is if you prioritize constant communication throughout the year, you will be more successful. So let's think about something. Your clients have a choice, right, to whom to work with. And technology makes it much easier today to cancel one vendor and move to another vendor. So you are not guaranteed long-term success without putting in some effort. If you limit your touch points to and let me go back with touch points. There's two different ways. Touch points is a frequency issue and a location issue. So meaning if your only touch point is your website or a Facebook page, you're missing out on blog traffic, email newsletters, marketplace sites, LinkedIn groups. I can go on and on. So there's many, many touch points that your clients can find you or prospects can find you. So basically, if you are not having that type of coverage, you are choosing not to deepen your relationships with clients. And that goes into a frequency thing as well. If you're only choosing to communicate with your clients once a year, it's the same type of concept. So you're basically stymieing the opportunities for you to grow. So let's run through some simple steps to build better client relationships. So I'm going to start with number 1, deliver a great first impression. So I think most can relate to this. If you have an older website or a website that is not secure, that does not use the latest security protocols driven by the IRS, is not ADA compliant. So what are those things? It's not SSL secure. It doesn't use reCAPTCHA. ADA compliance is a big thing as well. A professional looking website. Are you speaking to the pain points of your clients in your copy and imagery? Are you then offering them a solution on how you're going to make their lives better? So odds are that prospects will research you before deciding whether to contact you directly. So this is true even if someone had a word-of-mouth referral. They are going to Google your name, and basically they're going to see your website, hopefully some other directory sites and review sites, and hopefully those are full of 5-star reviews because people do their research before they ever contact you. And this is one thing that many pros that are kind of stuck in the mud right now don't realize. This is happening whether your site and your brand are optimized or not, meaning this process is happening every day. There's opportunities for your practice every day if you truly optimize your web presence. So let's talk about what are the things that start with your first impression. So there's the website. Is it professional? Is it up to date? Is it mobile friendly? Is it fast to load? Have you optimized all your social media profiles? Do you have a strong Google My Business profile full of 5-star reviews? Are you posting content to your GMB file? This is the first thing that Google shows now on the top of the search results. They're showing Google My Business. It is organic traffic that is coming through. And instead of going to your website, there's a lot of items. There's zero-click search. There's a bunch of things. But Google My Business is starting to siphon off a lot of this traffic. And that is the first, I guess, look at your first impression of your brand is, have you optimized your Google My Business profile? Have you optimized your TaxBuzz profile? CountingWorks. Do you have an active blog? Do you have a lot of recent reviews? So not only a lot of reviews, but recency is a big deal as well. So let's start out with it. Let's deliver a great first impression. So examples here, a nice looking website, a site that again is mobile friendly, a blog that is loaded with content that is updated frequently. The thing I see all the time is people that try to do the DIY approach. They start and they build a website, they start a blog, and they post 3 blog articles. So when someone comes to your site, they find an article from 2014. What does that say about your firm? That is not a great first impression. More importantly, our clients on the CountingWorks Pro platform get 50% of their traffic through the blog content. So it's a big component of what this means in the first impression. In addition, so the Google My Business profile, do you have videos? Do you have content? Are you making it easy for people to contact you? These are things that you need to optimize in order to make that consistent first impression. Secondarily, back up your marketing with a 5-star reputation. Reviews, this is much harder 3 or 4 years ago when we were trying to talk our clients into building review profiles. But once they saw the success, everyone started realizing, hey, everybody uses reviews to determine during their research who they're going to work with. So that is true. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Even a referral, they're going to Google your name. So you better have a nice review profile. More importantly, reviews and your reputation are part of the algorithm that the search engines, Google specifically, uses to rank brands. So a brand that has a high quality and quantity of reviews that receive them through the year will rank better. And basically, this is going to correlate to how many leads you receive, and then from there, how you convert them. And I would also add that firms that have better review profiles convert more web visitors. Basically, the reviews are doing the selling for you. The voice of your current customers are doing the selling for you. So it makes it much easier that they've already been conditioned to kind of trust you before they even contact you. A 2020 Bright Local survey showed us that 87% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses. And more importantly, 80% trust these online reviews. And it's kind of obvious. I mean, you've read reviews that are bogus or, thin is what I call them. The one-line reviews, or a pro who has a bunch of one-line reviews, they bought them. It's kind of obvious. So what's nice about the CountingWorks Pro system, we automate the review collection process. We help build up your reputation. And we even share these reviews on your social media sites. So that just helps drive even more word of mouth and personal recommendations. Having a 5-star reputation and providing a 5-star service is what it's about. You have to earn that reputation. So it gives your clients confidence that you will take good care of their financial interests. And also think about that. If they feel that you're going to follow through on everything you're promising, they're also going to refer you more clients. So we have TaxBuzz.com is our reputation marketplace. We also have CountingWorks.com. The difference, TaxBuzz is built for tax prep, IRS tax problems. CountingWorks is more for the virtual accounting, virtual CFO type services. We recommend optimizing both of them. We do that for our clients. And of course, your Google My Business profile. If you have those 3 optimized, you're going to do very well in the search results. Number 3, establish yourself as the go-to authority in your field. So you have to, whether you like it or not, you have to build up your online media presence. Social media helps you provide. First of all, there's two things going on. One, this is where the conversations are taking place. So people are asking questions. They're in different stages of the life cycle of, awareness that I have a problem. They're then in a research, and they walk themselves through it to the intent phase when they're ready to purchase a product or a service, right? So what you want to be doing is you want to get yourself found during that research phase. When they're trying to educate themselves about an item, you want to have blog content. You want to be participating in discussions online. You want your brand, your authority to be shared. So those are things that really help out. So online communities like the hashtag tax Twitter. There's a huge group on Twitter. We work with them in our tax buzz chat, guest posts on other blogs, join LinkedIn, Facebook groups. This is places where you can look at niches as well. So you could focus on expats in a certain country. You could work with dentists, for example. There's a bunch of different ways that you can start engaging in a conversation with people that you want as clients. So there's a lot of different strategies there, but you have to establish yourself as the go-to authority. You have to be present, right? You want to obtain third-party endorsements. And you can also offer yourself as a source for journalists or colleagues when they're writing about certain areas that you have expertise in. We always recommend Help a Reporter Out, HARO. It's help. If you Google Help a Reporter Out, you'll find it. And you can sign up to receive notices about people writing about certain topics, and you can offer your self as a source for quotes. This is a great way to get coverage out, articles written about you, citations, and even inbound links to your website. So definitely establish yourself as the go-to authority in your field. Here's just an example of our Tax Buzz chat, which we do monthly. We have lots and lots of professionals in here. And this is just a way to, one, for Google and the search engines to see your brand consistently, but also your audience. So, if they're following you, they're going to see all the content and you answering questions, educating people, engaging about certain areas. You're establishing and showing your authority. So number 4, deliver best-in-class client experiences. I think this is a big thing that CountingWorks does for you as a small tax and accounting practice. So basically, you may not think this, but Intuit is a competitor and a threat. There are other technology platforms out there that are now trying to commoditize some of the services that you provide. The good news from my viewpoint is the expertise that you have, you can't automate that. And what you can do is automate tasks, so mundane tasks that you had to do in the past, and start working your way over to more consulting, value-added type services. So the opportunity to actually make more money from fewer clients is there today. But the problem is if you are not using technology that is on par with the big technology companies, you are going to be at a disadvantage. So CountingWorks Pro, our goal is to create client experiences that help you compete with the bigger technology platforms, and obviously at a price that you don't have to spend millions and millions of dollars developing. So first things first, ensure the client experience is secure from end to end. I see this all the time, non-secure websites. So if someone goes to your site and it's not at least SSL secure, that's a big red flag. You want to make sure that when you're sharing secure documentation, you're using some sort of encryption or a portal. If you're doing meetings, virtual meetings, make sure that it is not something that you're not using the same URL over and over again. You want to make sure that it is difficult for someone to jump in and find a way to hack into your information. So basically prioritize your client onboarding, right? So the idea here is make it easier to work with you. Remove the friction. Have an online client engagement letter. Utilize e-sign. Have multiple communication options. Include transparent pricing. People, feel much more comfortable online when they're trying to buy a product if they can see exactly what they're getting. And that's why there's a lot of companies now. I mean, people are selling cars online without anyone ever seen it. So if someone is able to make that client experience trustworthy enough that someone feels comfortable enough to put money down to buy a car online, obviously we can do that with the tax and accounting services. So a couple things, options for the meetings and delivery of client work. So video meetings, we introduced teleaccountant. our version of Zoom meets Calendly meets Dropbox meets a chat tool. You know, it's all built in. So we handle the appointment scheduling, the automation of creating the meeting ID. We don't have apps that people have to download. That's been a huge challenge, you know, for clients who are not as technology savvy. As long as you have a phone, an iPhone, basically, a client can meet with you with our tools. So make sure you have, you know, the video meetings in the COVID world, that's more important, phone calls in person, things like that. So deliver best-in-class experiences. And just a real quick example of our teleaccountant tool. What's nice also is we have a ID check that's built in as well, so you can capture your client's face on the video with their ID and save it to the CRM. So number 5, stay in constant contact. So this is why we talk about newsletters, the importance of newsletters, the importance of pushing education material out through your social channels. Communication should be year-round. It should not just be through tax season. If you obviously are working with businesses, you know that already. If you're a tax prep firm, you're starting to realize, wow, there's a huge opportunities in the tax planning side if I communicated more often. So you want to stay top of mind to your clients beyond tax season. You want to be able to touch points are newsletters, social media posts, blogging, due date reminders, nurture campaigns, posting to Google My Business. There's all these ways to keep your brand constantly communicating with your clients, and make sure you cover life events. This is the key to success. And what I mean by people get married, you don't necessarily know what everyone's doing throughout the year. So marriage, college savings, retirement savings, having children, starting a business, selling a business, you get it. So these are the type of life events you need to be speaking about in your content. So when you develop blog content, when you do social posts, make sure you're targeting these areas. What we have seen is that generates a lot more off-season consultations, but more importantly, it makes your job easier. You're planning ahead versus doing an historical tax return. And I think this is a key to making a healthy tax practice is, by the time you're at the tax return, it's too late for a lot of these things. So your clients appreciate it. We see huge open rates on our email newsletters. So definitely something to keep in mind. And we automate the whole process. So we have in our newsletter product, we will create content in all these different categories. We will then automate the actual send. You can edit your intro message. You can add your own articles. You can edit our articles. We make it really robust for you. And if you want to just let it run, and it works magic for you. Number 6, be responsive and authentic. There's a bunch of, you're seeing more people talk about authentic brands online and putting personality out there. I think social media has changed the way businesses engage their clients. So, one of the highest value traits for prospects searching for professional service providers is responsiveness. Number 1, we have done some surveys on this. We did one in 2019. This applies obviously to individuals as well. Responsiveness is the number 1 item. If you don't respond quickly to inquiries via phone, email, website, chat, or whatever, so even though you may not use these tools, prospects will not trust you to be responsive after becoming a client. And obviously that's going to create friction in the relationship. And then finally, be authentic. So clients and prospects can tell when you're being duped. So be very honest, be transparent with your client, make it clear what your priorities, are, your why for being in the business, right? And then, what we say is embody that in every interaction. So don't make clients feel they're being bothered by you. I mean, you're being bothered by them. That's the worst thing. And we see that in reviews. That's kind of the beginning of the downfall. So even if you're extremely busy, you got to step up your game and at least inquire or respond saying, hey, I see this, I'm working on it, I'll get back to you. And you don't necessarily have to get back to them right away, but at least they know you're working on something. So one thing we did in our survey, knowledge comes first when working with a professional, trustworthiness, responsiveness, friendliness. But what I thought was interesting is accountants are the most important advisor. And this is, our survey is followed up with others. 72% found accountants to be the most important advisor over attorneys, business bankers, insurance agents, and computer consultants. So this goes back to where I started. And I said accountants are the world's most trusted advisors for a reason. They deliver. And what we do at CountingWorks PRO is we give you tools to help you further that along. We want to make you look great. We believe that professional, independent accountants are much more valuable than any DIY experience. And we believe, and we're going to sell like crazy to get you guys as much business as possible. So the results of better client relationships, the payoffs from investing in your client touch points include higher fees. We've seen this when you go to sell your practice. If you have more trust with your clients, they're most likely to pay you more. They're most likely to go on a monthly plan instead of just a commodity-like product. They're gonna look at your services differently. You're gonna see lower churn rates. They're not gonna decide to leave. They feel too much. They're getting too much value for you. Obviously, you get more referrals. So a healthy practice, people that trust you, they're going to refer more people to you because they're going to know that you're going to deliver, right? You're going to be responsive. And more importantly, we see it all the time. You're going to provide, your advice is going to make better financial successes from those that follow your advice. Now, in order for them to follow your advice, they have to trust you. And that's kind of the whole concept of CountingWorks Pro is we assist you in creating that year-round communication that will help build that trust over time. And we've been delivering it, for a long time. So hopefully that is a good overview for you of what these digital touch points look like. I know, Lauren, there are a few questions. We have a little time. We said 15 minutes for the presentation. I'm sure, as usual, we go long, but we do have some time for Q&A if you'd like to stay with us. And we'll go from there. But again, thank you very much for joining us for this webcast. And Lauren, go ahead with the Q&A.
Okay, that was great. So I think we have some questions that we want to run through. Lee, if you could, you mentioned it takes more than a website to get traffic online, but why is that?
Yeah, I think that's a big confusing point. A lot of people hear from coaches and the spammer emailers about get this website and I will drive all this traffic. But the reality is you really need a single integrated platform that works together. A website by itself is not enough to get ranked by Google. So what you're looking for is something that handles your blog, your social media posts, reviews, your website, lead nurturing, your newsletter, digital downloads, and much more. This is what gets you ranked high, and this is what will pull a lot more traffic through various funnels. So people are not just, first issue is how do they find your website? And secondarily, there's many different ways that people are using or finding your brand online. So they may be asking a friend on Facebook, who do they use for an accountant? The referral is being happening on social media. Maybe they hit a review site like TaxBuzz or CountingWorks, and they're reading reviews about you. So there's many different funnels that people will actually find you. And the way the Google algorithm works is you need to optimize all of these touch points. It's basically, Google wants to rank brands that people are engaging with, that their information is current, that have good reviews. So they're going to take all these elements when they're determining which websites or which brands are going to rank higher in the search results. So it's definitely something we talk about often. It takes much more than just a website to rank well.
Great, makes sense. So on the kind of contact and communication side of things, we get questions from a lot of professionals about how they've heard that newsletters don't really work anymore. So what would you say to them?
Yeah, and that kind of, I take a step back, so to speak, because for our clients, and that is, we're talking, 10,000 users, their client newsletter is probably the biggest demand source for their practice, not only in client retention, referrals, and I would say the amount of money that people can, that they will spend with you. So email newsletters are still very useful. So they're one of the best channels for developing a stronger relationship with your prospects and clients, but make sure you execute them well. And this is what I mean by that. They need to be timely. I see a lot of people starting a newsletter and then they stop it, or it's not on a monthly or weekly or whatever type of frequency. They need to deliver value to your reader. So, are you educating and engaging your audience? Are you covering subjects that will drive positive returns? So meaning you're speaking to their pain points. How can I solve a problem for you and make your life better? Whether that means I'm saving you time, or that means I'm generating more income for you, more cash flow, whatever. We always like to say focus on life events. Obviously, these are things that occur year round. If you're more of a tax focused firm and you're only seeing clients, one time a year, These newsletters will help generate a lot more activity and help you tax plan, solve problems before it's too late, when you're actually doing the tax return. A great newsletter should be a core component of your marketing strategy. We have clients, our average is over 30% opens. We have people as high as 70, 75% open rates on their newsletters. So, maybe these coaches or whoever you're hearing about this are trying to push some new things that are just, yes, do we agree? Blogs work, social media works. Those are just extensions of your newsletters, but 100% email newsletters are still one of the best delivering products that we offer. So newsletters work.
All right. So for anyone listening to this who may feel like they don't have enough time or expertise to implement the suggestions that you've given today, what would you recommend for them?
Yeah. So one of the things we hear is, I don't have enough time to get started, and I don't have a time to learn a new system. And one of the beauties of CountingWorks Pro is we've automated much of the process. So meaning, once we gather some information about you, we need to understand. We can't read your mind, right? So we need to understand, what is your firm doing? Where do you want to go? What are you specializing in? So we can create the branding and the material that we're doing, whether that be your social, your blog, your website, around these things, right? So we require from you 5, 10, 15 minutes total in the beginning just to answer a simple questionnaire that helps guide our designers and our team on the best way to make you meet your goals, right? So one of the things I say to clients is, you're investing, quote unquote, 15 minutes. And the amount of hours that we're going to save you for the automation that we do, whether that be reaching out for clients for reviews, social media posting, setting up and automating your email newsletter, writing blog articles. I mean, you're talking 10, 20 hours a month, easy. Appointment scheduling, reminders, I can go on and on, the amount of, the kind of the return on your investment, that if you spend that 15 minutes, how many things that we're going to automate for you. One of the things, there's 3 takeaways or 3 areas that I think people need to think about. First of all, you want to automate your communication channels. You want to make it so you have frequently touch points. And that's kind of what I started with on what CountingWorks Pro does, is we optimize all of your digital client touch points. So you want to make sure they're making decisions based on real data, like real consulting, from a trusted source. You are that trusted source. There's so much fake information on Google, people writing about taxes and finances on major sites like CNN or Huffington Post or wherever, that really don't understand, the subject matter that they're covering. So one, you want to make sure you are that knowledge source. You are providing them the input, the education, making sure they're up to date. Also, what we do is we help implement technologies that automate these manual tests. And I go to, scheduling a blog, scheduling the newsletter, scheduling an appointment, e-sign, things like that. So those are a lot of things that traditionally, faxing, 8879s, whatever you're doing, mailing, there's all these things that now with a technology platform like ours, we're going to automate for you digitally. And then take advantage of tools like teleaccountant, whether you're using Zoom, our teleaccountant, virtual meeting tools. Why not? People have changed their behaviors. We have enabled you to continue to meet with clients, and we've actually cut down the barrier of entry of local issues. So you can now work with clients no matter where they are. So if you can connect with them through a professional tool like teleaccountant, where you can share documents, verify identity, chat with them, share your screen, record the event for look back. These are all things that make it much easier to work with your client and quite honestly make you look a lot better. But that's my short response to, you don't have enough time. So I think it's definitely worth spending the 15 minutes to get you started.
Oh, for sure. I think the automation is absolutely invaluable. That's definitely true. So that was our last question. Are there any last words that you want to give to anybody listening?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us. We do these often. Follow us on our YouTube channel, so then you'll get updates too when we put out different webcasts. We do offer a couple different ways to engage us. First of all, we have a free discovery call that you can meet with one of our marketing experts. You can schedule an appointment from our CountingWorksPro.com website. We also offer a 30-day free trial. If you go to CountingWorksPro.com/learn-more, you can get started there as well. But we look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we can work together in the future. Thank you.